Hey guys, I'm Torie, and you're listening to That Girl, the podcast. Grab a beverage of choice and settle in because the new episode is starting now. Hey guys, what is up? It's your girl, Torie, and I am back with an all-new podcast episode. How is everyone? I know that you can't answer me, but I hope that you had a great week. It is Sunday if you're listening to this on the day that it comes out, and honestly, so much has happened since I last spoke to you guys. I took a couple days off of socials. By a couple days, I mean Friday and Saturday, so like the past 2 days. So I haven't really been interacting with you all, so I will get into kind of why my life updates. It's been a really emotionally triggering past few days. But before I do that, I guess I should kind of explain what we're going to be talking about. So today's podcast episode is basically going to be an in-depth, detailed walkthrough of what my life is like from Monday through Friday, because I do have a full-time job that I work from 8 to 5, and then I also do the podcast full-time. I've mentioned it before, but I do everything from editing to content and socials and marketing and all that to emails and talking with different people that I would like to be guests or collaborate with and things like that. So literally everything is me, hey, so that requires a lot of time, and I just kind of wanted to talk to you about how I manage that, so that if you have a side hustle of any type or a 5 to 9 that you do after your 9 to 5, maybe you can get some ideas about how to manage your time. And if you're looking to start doing that, here is an example little template of how I do it so that you can get some ideas from me. Before I do that, let's do our life updates. First and foremost, I do want to give a little shout out to the podcast. This is our 50th episode, which is insane, literally crazy. I want to thank you guys so much, regardless of if you've been here for a week or if you've been here since the beginning earlier this year. I appreciate all the support. Without you guys, I wouldn't be at 50 episodes, and you mean the world to me, like the absolute world. If you haven't hit that follow or subscribe button and you want to join in on the fun, we're a community of girlies all working to become the best version of ourselves. I really encourage you to do that. That would be a great 50th episode little celebration moment. So thank you if you decide to, join us. Next, for my life updates, we finally decorated the tree. We've had it, but we finally decorated it with ornaments and all that fun stuff. I also have content pretty much planned out through January, so that was fun. I have been getting ready for the holiday. That's kind of a little bit of what's been going on. I wanted to finish any shopping, tie up any loose ends, or anything like that. I also did do Christmas pictures. We were supposed to do them last Sunday, I mentioned it, but we ended up rescheduling them to this Sunday, so we literally just barely got done with our family Christmas pictures. So that was fun. But the last thing I wanted to say, and kind of where I've been, is Friday I found out that one of the dogs I grew up with that was living with my mom, that I've had since I was in the 4th grade when we got her, she passed away really unexpectedly. So I obviously was really, really upset, really sad. I drove home and spent some time with my family, but I took off yesterday and the day before, when I found out on Friday, to just completely digest everything and grieve that. What? Sorry, that truck sounded so weird. Just ruining my moment. It's fine. But I just wanted to take the necessary time to grieve and kind of close the door on that chapter so that I can continue. And I'm okay. We're okay. It was just really, really sad. You guys know how much my animals mean to me, so I'm still sad about it, obviously, but I'm ready to get back to work now and hit the ground running. I'm just trying to be delicate with myself and how I handle the situation, because I am really upset. And if you've lost a pet, you know how upsetting that is, especially one that has been with you since you were little, because they've just been through everything with us. But yeah, that's pretty much that. Let's go ahead and jump on in. Before I do jump into the episode, I do want to kind of explain what my side hustle is. So aside from doing the podcast full time, that's mainly like my side hustle, but I also do have the animals social media accounts, and they have quite a following, specifically on TikTok, and they're growing their YouTube following, so I do that as well. If you're looking to follow them, there's a certified good pupper on TikTok. That's the best way to reach them, but that is also something I've worked on quite a bit. So that was kind of hard with Sophie passing away. I had to like kind of explain to everyone like, hey, Sophie's not here anymore. Like, she hasn't really been, I haven't posted her since quarantine really because I moved out, but yeah, if you remember her, she's not with us. But yeah, the animal accounts are another big side hustle that I do in addition to the podcast. So those are the two things that I really divide my time between, and I mainly focus on the podcast. That's like the big thing that I want to do full time, but I really have so much fun doing the animal accounts as well, and they seem to really enjoy doing it, just letting them be silly and, you know, hang out, and that's how I like bond with my animals. So I do that. Probably I try to post every night on TikTok and YouTube for the dogs. I need to post on their Instagram more, not just the dogs, the bunnies, the snake, all of them. And then also I post on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube for my podcast. I try to do that every single day as well. So that's like the social media side. That doesn't even include any research, business stuff, filming and editing, Spotify and Apple, and going on all of those things. So yeah, that's quite a bit. But without further ado, I'm gonna stop stalling and we're just gonna go right on into my daily schedule. So on a Monday through Friday, pretty much any given day, this is typically how it goes. So the very first thing I do is I wake up at 7. I am trying to get to a point where I wake up earlier so that I can have a little bit more me time, work out, meditate, whatever I want to do, eat a good breakfast, because I don't do that right now. But I do wake up at 7, and the very first thing I always do is check the weather. I don't know why, and that is the only thing I do on my phone. I don't check anything else, but it's like a habit of mine. I just want to know what outfit I should be putting on or whatever, so I do check the weather. Like I mentioned, I try not to get on my phone until 8, after like I've gotten to work and I've done everything I need to do, and I'm kind of just taking a second to take the day in, other than just turning on a podcast or music when I get into the car to go to work. So yeah, I really try not to get on my phone first thing in the morning because I know it can stress you out. So I do really try to keep mornings as simple as possible because I hate getting up early. I'm a morning person, but I hate getting up early, which is really weird, I know. But I typically just brush my teeth. I'll put on teeth whitener because the teeth whitener I have, you have to have it on without eating or drinking for 30 minutes. So if I put it on first thing in the morning, it'll stay and I'll be good when I drink my coffee or whatever, because I don't drink coffee until I get to work because we have coffee there. And then I do splash water on my face, and no, I don't put soap on my face. I wash my face at night because I find that less is more. When I wash my face twice a day, I break out. So I only put water on my face to wake myself up in the morning. So brush teeth, sometimes teeth whitener, wash my face. And then I put on an outfit. I usually kind of have an idea of what I'm gonna wear, either like jeans or something picked out. I'm trying to get to a point where I pick out my outfits totally the night before because it's so much easier on days that I do that. But you know, Rome wasn't built in a day and I usually forget. Sometimes the outfit I picked works out, sometimes I'm really stressed and it doesn't work out. Josh gets up later than me because he goes to work an hour after me, so he's usually sleeping during this time. It's really quiet. It's just kind of a time to, like, I don't know, wake up and kind of take in the day. He also takes the dogs out since he gets up later, so I don't have to worry about anything with the dogs. So they go, they usually sleep with him, and I just like kiss everybody goodbye and leave. But I do, you know, throw my hair in a ponytail, whatever I'm gonna do, and grab my phone, and then after I'm dressed, kiss everybody goodbye, and then I go into my office and wake up the bunnies. So I open their window, like the blinds of their window, turn their light on, make sure they have food and hay, or water and hay, and make sure they're good. And then I go get anything I need from downstairs, whether that's a jacket, keys, all that good stuff. Sometimes I will grab a coffee or a water, but usually not. because we have like we have an ice and water machine at work, and we have coffee at work. So unless I really get breakfast, but I usually don't eat breakfast, I just leave. I know I need to start eating breakfast. You don't have to tell me. It's on the list for 2023. So essentially mornings are just like a survival of the fittest. I don't do anything really entrepreneurial or anything in the morning. Like obviously I have the little habits like not being on my phone and trying to be in silence and kind of meditate while I get ready in the mornings, but it's really chill. Then I go to work from 8 to 1. I take my lunch at 1, and I am lucky enough to work pretty much right next to my house. So I come home for lunch. I usually let the dogs out. I make my bed because Josh does not make the bed in the mornings and it drives me insane. So I'll go upstairs and make the bed, check on the bunnies, check on the snake, make sure they're good. And then I usually film TikToks. So I will film a TikTok for the dog's account and I'll film one for mine account. Search any sounds I like that I can use later for podcast or for either account really. And it's really just a time of like sitting on TikTok, because TikTok is something that we're typically chilling and relaxing on anyway, and I just turn it into a work thing because if I hear a sound that I like, I grab it. If I see an idea I like, I save it. But I'm really just scrolling on TikTok. I just try and be really intentional about it though, and grab anything I can that I like and I'll be using later. I also make lunch at home. We usually have stuff here. I should eat healthier. I usually eat like mac and cheese or something. Then I go back to work and I work from 2 to 5. When I'm at work, I try not to work on anything that's a side hustle while I'm at work, and vice versa, not bring work home and do it at home. So I try to keep them completely separate. But one thing I do is I listen to things in my AirPods while I'm working, and so a lot of times I'll listen to a podcast or YouTube that has like growth strategies for social media. I've talked about that a lot. How to improve your podcast. Literally anything that relates to business that is beneficial, I will try and listen to at least one video or podcast episode a day on that. And then the rest of the day I'm just kind of listening to music, doing stuff for work, because I don't want to overload myself, but I also want to use my time wisely as well. So once I get home from work, the first thing I do is let the dogs out. And then sometimes I go to the gym, like I'll let them out and then put them back away and go to the gym. But usually I change clothes, make a snack, and then start working on podcasts and animal stuff. So that is one thing. I'm trying to find a time to go to the gym, and I still haven't really figured it out yet because the gym is like a half an hour from my house, and with the dogs being in their kennels for like 8 hours, I don't want to have them in their kennel even longer if I go to the gym. Also, my horse is like, hello, she exists, and I would like to ride her, but by the time I get off of work, it's dark out and she's not in like a place where I can just like go ride her at night. So I'm still trying to figure all of that out. I obviously go on like Saturdays. Like I went yesterday, which was Saturday, and I'm so sore from seeing my horse and riding her, which is a good sign. It means we did something. But yeah, I'm still trying to figure out working out and those kinds of things, because when it was warmer out, I would just go for walks, but I can't really do that anymore because it's freezing. So I do have a yoga mat. Maybe I'll do stuff inside. I don't know. We're trying to figure that out. But either way, when I get home, change clothes, make a snack, because I usually don't eat dinner until Josh gets off. So I'll just make something small, and then I work on the podcast. So if it's Wednesday, I will film, edit, and upload the episode as soon as I get home. And then if it's any other day, I film and upload social media content. Like I mentioned, I try to post a TikTok, a short, and a reel / post every day. I do reuse content on multiple platforms, so I'll post a TikTok on as a short and a reel and whatever. And then I also research and try and plan content so that I know what I'm going to be doing at least the day before. I know what I'm going to be filming, so I try and plan things ahead of time. I can do a whole nother episode on content planning if you want me to, but I try to have the concept and then I just have to actually do it. Like I have the outline, I just have to actually film it. And I also try and research what's trending, so I'll go on podcasts, the podcast app, Spotify, YouTube, and see what is trending at the moment. I'll look at other podcasts, and while I'm listening to them, I kind of take note of like if there's a topic that everyone's talking about at the moment, I'll kind of take note and try and put a creative spin on it, things like that. So a lot of strategizing as well as actually posting. So I usually decide ahead of time if I'm gonna devote my night to cleaning or working, because I don't like to do both. So I think Fridays typically I clean, and so I just devote the whole night to cleaning, and then some day earlier in the week, so probably Monday, I usually will clean because the day before I uploaded a episode, so I kind of like don't feel as pressured. So Mondays and Fridays are usually my cleaning days, where I actually don't work on anything podcast, don't work on anything animals. I'll still post if like I find something or I come across something, but I'm not as pressured to do it. I clean the house. I usually focus on the upstairs or the downstairs, and I just do it all in one night. But I do kind of decide that if I'm gonna clean, I try to have content ready, so like drafts that I can just post the day of, and I'll try and get those ready the day before. But I don't like doing both, so I'll either do one or the other. Just kind of like a general schedule that I have every night that keeps me on track is the dogs usually eat at 6, so they go out at 5, they eat at 6. Bunnies get let out at 6 because they're in their pens, but I let them out to like have the whole room for a little while because we're still working on the potty training thing. So I let them out at 6, and then I feed the bunnies at 7. And I usually need to clean the bunny space every night because bunnies are messy. So just like a rundown is out at 5, dogs eat at 6, bunnies out at 6, and feed bunnies at 7. Josh gets home at 7, and I try and clean the bunny room sometime during the night. Usually before Josh gets home, preferably. But Josh gets off at all different times. Usually it's around 7:30 is the time that he gets home, so I try to be completely done with everything by 7 so that I can kind of cook dinner, get any final things done, and wrap anything up before he gets home, and just have it ready so that we can spend time together when he gets off, because he works and I work, so we don't really see each other that much. We only see each other at night. We do try and spend time together. He usually ends up playing video games or something, so we only spend like an hour together, 2 hours together, and then like when we go to bed later. So when he goes and plays video games, I will take that time to like clean the bunny room and work on content or anything I didn't get done earlier, laundry, anything like that. But I try and kind of plan for the next day when it gets later in the night, and then I try to be done by 9 with all things work, and then I will just tell him like, hey, I'll ask him to turn out the light in the bunny room because I usually put them away when I feed them at 7, so he just has to turn out their light and make sure, check on them at like 10 or 11. So he stays up later than me, so I will have him do that, make sure they're all set, and then I will wind down at 9. So what I do is I shower. I just switched to all non-toxic products. I can do a whole episode on non-toxic products as well if you would like me to, like no parabens, nothing bad for you. I'm on a very natural kick, so very excited about that. I love my nightly showers. They're like my me time. And then I do like a heavy face wash where I'm not just throwing water on my face, I'm actually like using nice expensive face wash. And then I try and do a more in-depth skincare routine, so put like retinol on my face and things like that. Brush my teeth. I do spray lavender on the bed, make sure the sheets are clean and all that. Light a candle, and I have to go to bed with a clean room, so I will tidy the room up and make sure that it's clean. And then we have lights in our room, so our nightstands light up like neon colors, and then our headboard also lights up like those neon colors that people used to put strands of on the ceilings of their rooms, you know what I'm talking about? We have those on our furniture. It just like came like that, so I usually put it on red because red helps you sleep. So I'll put that on, and then I turn on the TV after I meditate for a minute, and I usually throw on just something chill. I'll watch that for a minute. I've been really watching, lately I've been turning on Violating Community by, whoa, I can't talk. Violating Community Guidelines with Brittany Broski and Sarah Shower. I can't pronounce her name. I'm so sorry, Sarah. But I like them a lot, and I listen to their podcast in the car a lot, but I like the YouTube version better for them because they're so funny and their expressions are just great. So I have been really watching them lately on YouTube, so I'll turn that on. And I try not to get on my phone at all. I really try not to be on my phone at all unless it's for work or I'm texting someone back, but I really don't just scroll on my phone anymore because it's not good for you. But when I get tired, I will switch to sound bowls on Spotify and have that playing on the TV, or I will just turn the TV off altogether, and then I go to bed and Josh comes in later whenever he feels like it. But yeah, that is a quick rundown. I hope that made sense of everything that I do in a day. I don't think I mentioned like meals. I briefly touched on meals, but I am eating, I promise. So if you do implement this, make sure that you're implementing time to eat. I kind of realized after I wasn't doing that. I also try and drink water all day, and I have water on me at some point, especially since we have it readily available at work. But some additional tips that I tried to kind of add, I say this in pretty much every single episode when I talk about self-improvement of some sort, but planning ahead is everything. So make sure you know what content you want to go up when, what your schedule is going to look like for the next week, and when it's going to change. So if there's any changes to your typical schedule, anything like that, just make sure you're planning ahead as much as possible. Obviously, I know things are going to come up, but you know, it's important to still make sure that you're on top of things as much as you can and you are planning ahead. That's a big thing that I'm gonna do on my break away from work, is I'm literally just like filming content, batching content, and getting as much ready to go as I can for the new year, because even though I have everything planned out, I have to still shoot it and things like that. And yeah, that's what I've been working on really, is just like getting all of that set up and ready to go. So the next bullet point is communication with everyone is key. So if I need to ask Josh for help, not being afraid to do that, knowing when I'll be at work and when I have lunch, making sure that my followers, so you guys, my community, everyone knows what to expect from me, as well as people from work, when I'm going to be there, what I'm working on, how long it's going to take me. Just keeping all stakeholders and everyone involved informed on what I'm doing and when I'm doing it, just so that there's no like confusion, the expectations are clear, and that helps me stay in check. Like when people know what I'm doing, if I tell someone, hey, this is going to be up at this time, it keeps me in check so that I'm not like, oh, I'll just get it up tomorrow, or like something like that, because I have been known to do that. I'm a little bit of a procrastinator, so doing that helps me stay focused. Another bullet point is make sure you're taking care of yourself so that you can show up in all ways. I've talked about that so many times, the importance of self-care, but just making sure that you are up to speed on health and you are in a positive mental place so that you can show up 100% in all areas, because you're doing a lot. Don't make your life harder than it needs to be. So I do most things on Saturday to avoid adding more to my plate. So like grocery shopping, any deep cleaning, I don't really kick myself if there's something I want to do and I have to push it back to Saturday. If it's not something urgent that needs to be done immediately, or it's not something that is like content is important to me because it gives my followers an expectation, my community, you guys, everyone, an expectation of what to expect from me. And so if I would just kept pushing it off, you guys would be like, what the heck, like we can't trust her. So that is considered urgent to me. I know some people wouldn't consider it urgent, but when you have a hustle, you know, some things you're gonna find more urgent than others. But yeah, like things that, if something isn't disrupting my peace and it's not super urgent, it can wait. So like cleaning my room disrupts my peace and then I don't show up as my best self. So that's why I keep my room clean. But in general, like things like putting the dishes away, they have to be done, but putting them away can wait, like little things like that. My last bullet point that I want you guys to really think about if you're thinking about starting a side hustle is, I do it because I love it and it's fun. If I found it super stressful, obviously it's gonna be a little stressful, it can be challenging at times, but if I found it super stressful and I hated it and I found like I just dreaded doing it, then I wouldn't do it. Don't do it, you know, like don't do it. It's not that if you have a side hustle and you just find yourself like miserable all the time, don't do it. You know, it's not the end of the world. So I'm not sure how long this episode is. I'm hoping it's long enough and I didn't just leave you with another short episode, but I hope that you enjoyed this. If you are on a platform where you can comment, tell me what your favorite part is down below. If you have any tips for me, I would love to hear them. If you want to know the answer to any questions you may have, I would love to answer them. Other than that, don't forget to leave a rating or review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It really helps out my channel. Not my channel, oh my gosh, I never know which platform I'm on anymore. My podcast, it really does help me out. I can't even thank you enough. If you want to tap the stars, I would love that. If you want to leave a detailed review, I would love that as well. Totally up to you. If you are on YouTube, don't forget to leave a like, a subscribe. Why can't I talk? Okay. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you wanna. That helps me out so much as well. If you're on any other platform, I don't think I forgot about you. You can follow as well if liking is an option. Don't be afraid to do that. So if you are watching on Sunday, I hope you have a great night. If you're watching on any other day, I hope you have a great morning, afternoon, and night. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok to join the fun every single day. And I will see you guys in my next podcast episode. Bye guys, I love you.